Savile Row's never done such a glamorous job for Britain. Britain's national theatre stars like Billy Whitelaw of TV fame and Robert Lang are choosing the pure new wool they'll wear on an important overseas tour. Actors and actresses like Sir Michael Redgrave's daughter Lynn are wearing the wool fashions of tomorrow for the first foreign prestige theatre tour they've made. The Men's Fashion Council of Savile Row have sent polished actors like Colin Blakely off on a cultural exchange as ambassadors of next year's export elegance. Never has a famous theatre company prepared to go abroad in sartorial splendor such as this. But where are they going with all their excitement and finery and their acclaimed production of Othello? Those cameramen recognize the airline steward as Sir Laurence Olivier, their star of stars. And aboard their plane is Pathé Pictorial, honored by their invitation to present exclusively the record of Britain's first stage company's first overseas mission. Sir Laurence knows our destination, and his Desdemona, Billy Whitelaw, knows what Moscow is expecting from us and what it has to give. The wind in her hair is made by the 50-mile-an-hour hydrofoil on the Moskva River, which slices through this city like a sickle. And the Moskva River brings us to the Kremlin and Red Square, the colorful heart of this elusive city. See its towers and domes and spires through these British actors' eyes, who have brought Othello here as their thanks for the Bolshoi Ballet's London visit. If the Kremlin sounds frightening, it looks beautiful. And to the Russians, the focal point of it all is Lenin's mausoleum, where the old revolutionary's body is embalmed and guarded. The Red Army is on ceremonial duty, and the crowds lap up the spectacle daily. But our actors have come to see not only guards on parade, but the Russian people themselves. How do they live, these mysterious human beings, once our wartime allies, but always an unknown quantity to us? Just cross the Red Square and step into GUM, their most famous department store, which is in effect a network of roofed-in shopping streets. Here's a life-size picture of people in a land so vast that it embraces both Siberian ice and the thirsty heat of Samarkand. Watch the shopkeepers manipulate the most ancient computer ever invented, the abacus, and don't dismiss it as something inferior to our cash registers, because it works. Stand by the fountain here, they say, and in time you'll see people from every corner of the globe. Stand by the new fountains at Moscow's Economic Achievement Exhibition, and the chances are in time you'll meet everyone of perspicacity in the whole wide world. It isn't admiration that draws people to this square mile of pavilions, and there are 78 of them, landscaped some 40,000 trees. You read here the Russian claims as to their contribution to the world's culture, and you read too anomalies. The claims are authentic. The Russians certainly launched that Sputnik, but it's the contrasts that are fascinating and revealing. The simplicity you suddenly discover, the rate of growth and its unevenness, the truth and the fiction. It takes an actor like John Stride for a start to break the language barrier and make memorable contact with a little girl. It takes a master of mime from the West to show what he wants and to turn the baffling business of buying a bun into a human contact. See how it's done. Actors with their expressiveness are good ambassadors for rubbing out misunderstandings and language difficulties, discovering that people with what to us is an upside-down alphabet are nevertheless basically the same. But here in Moscow you find contradictions. A mighty power built on simple people who have not yet got the quality of toys, trinkets and consumer goods that we know, though they're doing better and better. Contrasts are obvious, and comparisons are much more misleading, because the standards we started with are so different. Here's where you see the contrasts. Clothes and consumer goods, substandard to Western eyes, yet things you must look up to. The Space Race Memorial. The Russians have made headway in space, yet their main recreation park, in spite of its big wheel, is a depressing imitation of Denmark's Tivoli Gardens and even falls short of London's Battersea Park. This is a country that so often seems like yesterday, sometimes drab and sometimes dramatically beautiful. A country that sacrificed today for an ambitious tomorrow. For see how they're building. This was empty land 8 years ago. They're hungry for accommodation. And they're putting up skyscraper hotels, apartments, universities at a rate that soars. In a way, Moscow's like a new American town with wide, impersonal avenues. But the people seem bent like English jaywalkers on attempting suicide. Incidentally, just when you expect hard frost, Moscow has a thirsty heat wave. So buy yourself a curbside drink when you wash the glass. Contrasts and contradictions, wonderful and inexpensive telephones, but no such thing as a telephone directory here. Telephone numbers are worth gold dust. What a place the Kremlin is for rubbernecks like our actors. Yes, we're in the Kremlin. It isn't private. It's Moscow's showplace with gold-domed cathedrals, which now are fabulous museums, alongside government offices and the theater where our Shakespeare company performs. Monday's the night off here for actors, and so there's a reception at the British Embassy just across the river from those Kremlin domes. The ambassador receives Sir Lawrence and Lady Olivia, and for the first time in history, film cameras are invited into this island of diplomatic Britain at the heart of the USSR. It's a case of two ambassadors meeting, because Olivia, off stage like the rest of his company, is showing exactly how important actors are in breaking down international barriers. It's relaxing playing the piano. It's relaxing going to the circus here, or the ballet, the puppet theater, or the thousand things that Moscow artists have arranged as a welcome to their British guests. On a cultural plane, this cultural exchange is rewarding and complete, as our actor Miles Mallison appreciates. Now the circus puts us in a whirl. And now the program is Othello, and Olivia's music fills the Kremlin air.
Even like my chastity. Oh, cursed slave! Whip me, ye devils, from the possession of these heavenly sights. Blow me about in winds. Roast me in sulphur! Wash me in steam down gulfs of liquid fire! Oh, Desdemon! Dead! Desdemon! Dead! Dead!
Applause, admiration, and a little more mutual understanding. A cultural exchange has reached its crescendo and made its impact.